Hi everyone, welcome to SJL Yoga. This is a tutorial on crow pose since I got a request for how to work up to that. So I'll be doing the tutorial today, and then as usual over the weekend, it'll be a full class dedicated to getting up into your crow pose. So crow pose can be a little challenging, but there are a bunch of modifications that can get you there. So the first thing we're going to do is actually come out into what's called malasana or yogi squat. So you're going to have your feet a little wider than hip distance apart, and your toes are going to be out towards the edges of your mat. You're going to sink down and have your elbows on the inside of your knees. If you can't get here or you feel very unstable, take a block and place it underneath you at whatever level you need. So it could be at the lowest level, it could be a little higher, or it could be all the way up. And just sit here with your elbows inside your knees are squeezing towards your elbows. If this is all you can do, this is a really good start. So make sure that you are practicing your yogi squat before you even attempt to come into crow pose. So your practice might consist of this today, which is great. But if you'd like to go a little further, the next step to crow pose was to take your hands and place them a little bit further in front of you, a little on the inside of your feet. So your hands are going to be spread wide like you're in your downward facing dog. And you're going to start to just lift your hips up and then come back down and lift your hips up, gaze a little further up beyond your hands, and then come down. Your next goal, and I'm going to turn to the side a couple times so you can see both perspectives, but your next goal is to get your knee on the back of your arm. You don't want it resting on your elbow because that can cause a lot of injury. You don't want it on your forearm. You want it on the back of your tricep. So you're going to lift your hips up and place your knees on the back of your tricep and kind of lean a little forward so that your wrists are directly underneath your elbows, and then come back down. Go back into your yogi squat. So if all you want to practice today is getting your knees all the way up and leaning forward and coming back down, great. So this is what it looks like from the side with or without the block. So you're going to come into your yogi squat. Elbows are on your knees are on your elbows, squeezing in, lifting up. Hands come down. Take your knees to the back of your arms and start to sway forward, taking your heels off the ground, come back down. Sway forward, heels off the ground, come back down. So from there, if you're starting out and you'd like to take your block, place it behind you on the low setting, and you're going to come into your yogi squat. Place your hands on the ground, and you're going to come up on your toes, placing your feet, let me move back here a little bit, placing your feet on the block this time. So your hands are going to come in front of you and rock forward. And this gives you a little bit of a lift to get your hands to the backs of your arms. Then, if you want to stay here, start to lift one foot, place it back down, lift the other, place it back down. Eventually, you're going to lift both feet, bringing your toes together. And this is your crow pose. And then come back down. Eventually, you won't need the block. So if you don't need the block today, you're going to come into your yogi squat, toes are out. Placing your hands on the ground. Lift your hips up so your knees are on the backs of your arms. Gripping the mat with the pads of your fingers, start to lean forward, taking one foot up, and then taking the other foot up. Stay here for at least 2 breaths, and then bring your feet back down, back into your yogi squat, and then take yourself into a forward fold. Shake your head out, stretch out your legs, and roll all the way up. So that is your crow pose. It is a quick tutorial, but you can pause the video at any time that you need, and I'm going to have the labels at the bottom so that you know where to pause and what to practice. So this one takes a few times to get, so be sure to practice it every day. And like I said, meet me on your mat this weekend for a full flow to get into your crow pose. So the entire flow will be getting to that peak pose of crow, and I hope that this really helped you out and that you enjoyed it. And I will see you this weekend for your full flow. Namaste.